G'day guys and welcome back to the Total War podcast. So this is the new mini-series where we interview all the members of the podcast and the members of the Total War community. So today we have Coldmeat 247.
Hey, what's up, Marcus? How you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Thanks for joining us today for the interview. So, like we said in the previous one, this is just some basic interviews to get some content out, and we hope you do enjoy it to find out just a bit more about your favorite commentators. So here we go. So what was the initial thing that caused you to become a YouTube commentator?
Well, I've been watching YouTube for 5 years, so pretty much when YouTube started. So what, 5, 6 years now?
Yeah.
And I find a couple of guys that I really like watching. The first one was SSOHPKC or Seamus that I started watching, and a couple of other guys after that. But I think he was the one that really, because I think he's playing at this time. He had maybe maybe 50,000 subscribers. He was playing some really basic games, and just listening to him playing Mario and some Mario acts and just talking all the time. He just talked nonstop.
Yeah.
And I thought, when I play games all by myself here, I talk to myself, I'm just talking alone. I'm sitting in front of my computer and I'm talking. So might as well just get a mic and a decent computer and maybe have a look if I can, play some games, record at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's how I started. I knew that, of course, I'm not gonna lie, but I knew that there was a possibility to make money also with YouTube. So I looked into it a lot, and eventually in 2011, I bought my first computer. Well, not my first computer. I had computers before. I'm 37. My first computer was a Commodore 64. So, but I bought my first big PC, ready to play, and I just got some games through Steam and stuff like that, and I discovered how to record videos on PC, and I started doing it. So I guess the thing that really got me into it was watching other YouTubers and especially Seamus doing his work.
Cool. It's interesting. Most other people would say that they started through other Total War. Interesting that you started through Seamus. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot
It-
different to the other
Of course,
answers.
I
Yeah.
was watching also, I don't want to interrupt you, but I was also watching Prince of Macedon at the time
Yeah. Yeah.
and a couple other guys. And yes, I started with on my channel, I started with Fallout 3 and
Yeah.
then some Total War after that, because I've been playing Total War for 10 years now,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more. So those were games that I was familiar with.
Yeah.
So I thought about starting with those. So
Well,
yeah, it started all with watching Seamus talking about his job at Target and the
yeah.
way he quit his job, and it's just I thought he was really entertaining. So, and I thought I could do the same.
Yeah, well, for sure. You can definitely see that on your channel. That you have variety other than Total War, and that's probably due to the fact that you do have inspirations from people outside the Total War community.
Hmm.
So before we actually carry on with what you do on YouTube, a lot of people would have noticed, if you don't already know Coldmeat, he has a very unique accent compared to a lot of the other YouTubers. Would you just like to explain where you're from, the country you're from?
Well, first thing, people will think I'm French,
Yeah.
but I'm French Canadian. So I'm from Canada, and I live in the province of Quebec. That's the eastern part of the country. And pretty much here, 70% of people speak French. So that's where I'm from.
Awesome. So move on to so far. What has been your favorite aspect of becoming a YouTuber?
I say the feedback and everything you get from your subscribers. I think that's the best thing. Honestly, you can do this for years, but if you don't have anybody watching you, clicking the like button, putting comments on your videos and everything, every eventually you're gonna stop. And I think that's the most interesting thing. Just being able to interact and talk with people and share stuff, even though we don't actually speak directly. because this is all comments and stuff. Even though we don't speak directly to each other, there is some kind of a communication with all those people. So that's one thing I really like.
Yeah, it's heaps cool. A lot of people would say that they appreciate when the YouTubers do reply in comments.
hmm
So, how many videos have you uploaded so far? Do you know?
Right now, at the moment, as we speak, 760 videos.
It's a huge number. It's amazing. I'm
Yep.
always keeping that content rolling. So, what what videos and what genre of game are you looking forward to expanding into the future? We already know, and subscribers to your channel know that you do have a variety, like I mentioned before. I believe right now you've got Far Cry running with
Yeah, well,
some Total War. Yep.
right now, like I said, we talk about Total War. So I play all the Total War games, all of them, from Rome Total War to Shogun 2. It's because I like the series. I like what Creative Assembly has been doing with it. So it's a lot of fun. But I also play action and adventure games. So, and I gotta say, I pick games that I like. You know, when I get a game, I start playing it. It's a lot of fun. And if I really get into it, then I'll be probably more, you know, maybe more tempted in recording videos in that case. So let's say right now, the Total War series, the Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is an excellent game. As soon as you start playing, you really get into it. Everything is perfect about this game. I really love it. So why not playing it? And this is how I pick my games. So eventually in the future, right now there's a lot of Total War because people are asking for it, right?
Yep.
Um, but in the future we'll have a little bit less Total War. Of course, I'm going towards Rome 2 because I want to play Rome 2 Total War. But eventually we'll have a little bit less Total War and a little bit more action and adventure. So I tried a couple RPGs before. People are not really into it because I guess my fan base is more interested in watching Total War.
Yeah.
But eventually we're going towards that. So pretty much what I want to do is play whatever game I'd like to play, you know.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
from small indie games to the big titles.
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to you enjoying yourself, then creating quality content.
I think so.
Um, yeah. So, what comes down to it? When it comes down to it, what is your favorite Total War?
My favorite Total War, because we're talking about Total War, this is the Total War podcast. My favorite Total War was Medieval Total War. That's the first. That's the first Total War I played. Medieval Total War, not Medieval 2. The first
Yeah.
Medieval
Yeah.
Total War.
I
I
remember
think
that.
that was one of the best game I played at the time. And after that, I'll put maybe when I discovered Rome Total War because I got it as soon as it was released. Um, it's just another great game. Right now, I gotta say my favorite Total War because of the options, because there's a lot of things to it, because of all the mods also you can play with it. I'd say Medieval 2 Total
Yeah.
War. I think it's pretty much the same for a lot of people playing Total War. Just because, like I said, the mods are excellent. There's a lot of people working on a lot of different mods, starting from, Third Age Total War that we all know, going to some Warhammer mods, Games of Thrones, and other, a lot of really different stuff. So I think Medieval 2 is the best. But I say I'm also having a lot of fun with Empire Total War and Napoleon Total War
Yeah.
because those are all different time period. But
Yeah.
if
For
I had
sure.
to if I had to bring one of those on a desert island, I will probably bring Medieval 2 Total War.
Yeah. A lot of different things to do with medieval.
hmm
Which actually brings us. You mentioned a couple of mods. Actually brings us to the next question. What is your favorite mod so far?
So far, I gotta say I'm a big fan now of the dark mods. So dark mods for Rome Total War is really good. Shogun 2 also really good. Um, Probably I'd say Dark Mode 8.1 for right now it's 8.1, but Dark Mode 8.1 for Empire Total War is probably one of the best.
Yep. Um, so carrying on with your favorites in the Total War community and such.
Hmm.
Do you have a preference with any of the commentators that are currently uploading videos?
Um, I like a lot of people. I gotta say, I watch a lot of people play Total War. Um, a preference?
Yeah.
A preference. Oh, this is hard, man. Why you ask me this kind of question? You're crazy. A preference. I like watching Diplex Edit HD. I think Diplex got some good commenting, and he's got good campaigns. Um, and I have, in the weekend, if I don't know what to do, I'll be watching Prince of Macedon also. Uh, just because he also present other stuff than just Total War. There's a little bit of Men of War in this stuff, and I think his content is also it's interesting because you get new setup and new battles every time, and he plays online, so I think that's a lot of fun to watch. There's another guy I used to watch a lot on Shogun 2 Total War. You might not know him. His name is Fish Sandwich Patrol.
No, I haven't heard of him.
He's a Shogun 2 specialist. He explains a lot about strategy during the battle, so that's really interesting. He plays online. He organized tournaments before, so he know Shogun 2 a lot. So that's one of the other guys that I really like watching. But like I said, I'm not only sticking to only three guys, not just
Yeah, yeah,
Diapex.
yeah. Of
I
course.
mean, I watch Fruit 100. I also watch Lionheart, Lionheart X10. I've been watching Sapphire Phoenix '08 for a long time. I think when I started YouTube, he's one of the first. When I started my channel, he's one of the first that I, really started to watch and talk to.
Yeah.
So I also watch the Phoenix. And then there's you guys, there's you, Mr. Mate 111, Efastion that I'm watching also. I don't want to forget anybody.
It's so
Uh,
good, man. You don't need
yeah.
to do shout outs and stuff. It's alright. Um, so we'll just move on to the next question.
Mhm.
For Rome Total War 2, what is the biggest change you are hoping they implement and you're looking forward to?
Um, on my side, I'm not too stressed about the battle part of the game. So I think the battle part of the game, everything will be fine. Um, what I want to see, we haven't seen any of that so far. What I want is a decent campaign map to play on with a lot of options, agents, and a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
I think the last Total Wars, let's say we're talking about Empire Total War or Napoleon Total War, I think the campaign map was a bit simplified, maybe, maybe to try to get more people into, the franchise.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have a really good campaign map, if it's possible. A lot of good strategy going on the campaign map because Total War, yes, the battles are really cool, but a lot happen in the campaign map.
Well, yeah, well, victory is decided on the campaign map, before you even set foot
Hmm.
on the battlefield, depending where you are and how your city and stuff is going. That's an
Most
interesting thing, though, you bring it up because they haven't, I'm pretty sure we're nearing nearly 6 months into release, haven't shown one bit of info about the campaign map. But yeah, were you going to say something just there?
That's right. They talk to us about all the factions.
Yeah.
You know, we have images, so we have screenshots, and we also have short movies, uh, done with related to battles and the troops and everything. But we didn't see one bit of the campaign map so far.
Yeah, yeah.
Not one bit.
So,
So I hope they're not gonna let us down with this, and they're not gonna make it to what what I call arcadey,
yeah,
and
yeah.
try to give us something decent, to play with. I'm not talking maybe to the level of, let's say, Europa Universalis or like just campaign mapping, but at least something cool so we can build and we can grow our empire, and that's the thing. Total War, there's a lot of it that happened in the campaign map.
Yeah, for sure. You spent a lot of time on the campaign map, so you'd hope that yeah, it's
Mhm.
got a lot of detail to it.
Yeah, the
Um,
other thing I really hope though,
yeah,
real quick, is I want to make sure I'd like that all the factions are well balanced. I understand that this is gonna be hard, but if we talk about Shogun 2 for a second, Shogun 2 in multiplayer on the net, if you think about starting right now, let's say you just bought Shogun 2 and you want to start, forget about it. The faction are unbalanced. The power you can put on your characters are just unbalancing the game, and it's not interesting for new players to get
yeah,
into it. So I think and I hope that they will kind of balance that in some way, so more people play online.
yeah, for sure. All right, thanks for that answer.
Hmm.
So we move on to just a different aspect of the YouTube career.
Yeah.
How has being a YouTuber and being a pretty prominent one at that within the Total War community,
Hmm.
how has that affected you online and obviously outside of the YouTube and online?
Well, let's talk about online. Since in let's say in the last months and everything, uh, you basically meet more YouTubers when you play Total War. I think we have a good, we have a nice community. So it's always fun, and a lot of people like Total War. So I think online, one of the biggest thing is meeting big YouTubers that do Total War. Let's say like Diplex Edit, HD. Also meeting with Dart Mode. So Nick Tomatis. I think that's one of the big thing. Um, Online, I'd say that's about that. Just
Yeah,
meeting with more people. Uh, Outside, um, outside. Well, this is kind of weird because I live in a small village of 8,000 people, and when I go to family reunion, or when I, let's say, just go out, talk with friends and everything, or even at work because I do have a real job. Uh, People are asking me, what do you do? And I just explain that I play video games and I do videos for YouTube. It's special because most people here don't know that it's possible to actually have. I'm not gonna say I have a career right now on YouTube because I don't have a huge channel, but a lot of people are not aware that you can actually build a career on that and get more views, get more viewers, and even get enough money eventually to just live out of that. So it's always fun to, explain what I do.
yeah, for sure. It's a much different um, possible career path than a lot of other jobs, which actually leads to another question.
Hmm.
If the possibility arises, would you make YouTube your full-time job and income?
Right now, I gotta say, this is one of my goal. Uh, because, like I talked to you, I have a real job and I work on a radio also. It doesn't sound like it right now because it's early in the morning. Why are you doing interviews so early? But I work at night at a radio station. So I have pretty much my full day to work on YouTube and record videos and network around and talk with other people and to interview for the Total War podcast.
Yeah,
So I have my full day to do that, and my environment here during the day is pretty quiet, so everything is fine. And when I'm done, I can just go to the radio station every time I want because I don't really work with a precise schedule. So I have a good life. I gotta say, I get the good life to do that. I'm able to spend a lot of time on this and enough time at my work. So eventually, yes, if I could make this a full-time thing, it would be great. It would be
yeah,
really, really good. I'm looking at it right now. I'm at, let's say, 25% of my objective right now.
yeah,
So I'd like to just push that forward, eventually get more subscribers or people watching me. I don't want to say the word fans because I think that kind of sound a bit condescending. You know, I'm not a celebrity or anything. I
yeah. We
just,
understand.
I'd like to have more people watching my videos eventually. get more videos out, and yeah, if I can do this full time, let's say in the next year or something, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna quit my real job right away, but I'll be really honest with you. My goal is, if I can, make this full time, have my recording studio here in my apartment, and travel around after that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe just so work this thing from my recording studio, and then take vacations down south, sit on a beach, and answer your comments sitting on a beach if I can.
That's the life everyone wants
Yeah.
there through through YouTube.
Hmm.
So we move on to, I think you actually mentioned this before. You said the community was good. What do you feel the Total War community is like, and is anything you would like changed about it? So that's like
Um,
encompassing the commentators and the subscribers.
right now, commentators, I think we have a lot of Total War commentators. If you look on YouTube, there's a lot of them. What I'd like to see right now is make sure that those guys, so the new guys, I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to the new guy, the guy that's just starting right now doing Total War on YouTube. I'd like you, my friend, to think, really think, can you do this? Okay? Because there's a lot of people that enjoy Total War, but you need a certain talent to be able to start on YouTube. Okay? I'm not saying you can't. It's possible if you want. You can spend your time just uploading videos, but are you able to comment on it? Are you able to really edit your video so everything looks nice? I that's one thing, because I see a lot of people right now taking example on me, because I have a lot of people sending me messages and asking me for shout outs. Yeah, can you have a look at my channel? Can you give me tips and everything? So what I'd like to see is maybe for some of those guys to get a little bit more info before they start. You know, think about your abilities. Are you able to talk nonstop? Because I don't want to watch Total War videos that are not commented, or when all you can say is, in a battle is the S word and the F word. And, you need to know your game a little bit, you
Yeah,
know. So I'd recommend for some of you guys, some of those guys that are maybe starting in the Total War community and starting, on YouTube, to play a couple campaigns. Play a couple campaigns before, get familiar to with what the game is, get ready to talk about it. Remember that, when you're on the campaign map, sometime you have nothing to talk about. So it's important that, you find something, find some references, find something funny to say, you know, be there. Um, and I think that's one of the big thing I'd like people to do that. I'd like people to maybe get, if it's possible, maybe for creative assembly, uh, maybe for the people all together. I'd like some of the guys to get more involved with creative assembly, because I'm not saying that their product are not, you know, I was about to say not good, but they're not perfect. A lot
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Total War games, um, get modded because of that. I mean, the games are not perfect, uh, and I don't think, if I think if you look at, or if you talk with anybody around, uh, some people will always have something to change about any of the Total War game, right?
yeah,
I think the unit should be bigger. We should have more settlements to take. There's a lot of things, but definitely, I think if the community could get more involved with Creative Assembly, that'd be really great. Or if Creative Assembly can, connect a little bit more with the community, um, have, I'm not, because Total War Center, the forum, is not Creative Assembly. That's a community.
yeah. It's the fans.
Um, so I think Creative Assembly should maybe have all the people playing Total War, and this whole community come maybe to their website instead of letting them aside and observing them, from afar. and eventually invite a bunch of people that actually program some pretty crappy mods. I gotta say, that's all I can say about it. Eventually, just invite people that program crappy mods to their office and talk with them. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, yes, I'm sorry, but if somebody gets a mod out and it's actually not possible for half the people to install it, why would you take even ideas or intake from this guy?
yeah,
I mean, he's all freaking out. He wants to program a good mod, but all he does is change skins and sound and the map. There's a lot more to that.
especially when you
So
have,
yeah, go
you know,
ahead, go ahead.
especially when you have some of the best modders not being invited. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
So I'd like to maybe see a whole big party going on, with the
yeah, yeah,
with the YouTube, maybe not just YouTube. I mean the players, the Total War players and Creative Assembly all connected together, you know.
for
So
sure, for
that,
sure.
that I think that would be really really cool.
I just like to say it was good. It was a good point you made. You actually answered another question within that question, within
Yeah,
your answer about the tips for people starting on YouTube. I would honestly like to say that as a very good tip. A lot of people would tend to sugarcoat it, make it seem, just try, believe you'll make it. You made a very good point that you need to have a certain quality to be able to talk over footage of 23 to 30 minutes long. So it's good that you made that point there.
you
And
want some basic tips for people starting on YouTube.
yeah, that's another thing. Just some basic tips you would
Hey,
recommend.
really basically here,
Yeah, yeah, just
the
quick.
first the first thing, remember, there's the game, okay, and there's what you do with it, okay.
Yeah,
So you can pick any games. That's one thing I'll say. You can pick any games you want. Look, just quick example. He's not a Total War player, but let's talk about PewDiePie, okay, or Tobuscus. Look at the big guys, okay. Whatever game they pick, they make views on it, and they have a lot of good comments on it. Why? It's because it's not people will listen not just for the game. They are listening to the commentator.
yes, very, very correct.
S- So a couple of things you need is to make sure that one, you have a good computer to run the game. You know, that's one thing. You need equipment. That's how it is. If your mom or dad has the right computer and they don't mind, that you're playing on it, that's awesome. But eventually, you need your own computer. You need to be able to do the thing. Uh, you need to know your games. You need to have fun with the games. If you're not having fun, if you get on YouTube just to upload videos, that's not good and that's not enough. You're not going to get anywhere, because I think the pleasure of doing this is contagious, right?
Yeah,
So if you're having fun, people will have fun watching you. That's
for
what's
sure.
important. And the second thing, the big thing about this is all about how you express yourself. And if you can actually speak to a big audience without any problems. So when I record videos, I imagine that there's a million people in front of me in a stadium. You need
Yeah,
to be able to get it out, to talk, to, like I said, express yourself loud and clear. That's another thing. So even for you, the young guys, I don't care. You're 12 years old. It's fine. Whatever age you are, because I'm an old guy, but you can be 12, 14, 16, 18. As long as you can maybe, I mean, do some tests, start a game, start recording, and talk loud and clear all the time. It's not everybody that has this ability to do it. So I think it's really important if you have this, if you're able to, let's say when you do a oral presentation in front of your class, if you're the guy that actually just talk for 3 minutes, or try to make sure that he's the last one to do presentation because you're scared of being in front of people, you can't do this, my friend. I'm sorry. Or you have to find a solution. So that's another thing. It's really about you, and if you're able to. talk in the microphone, be loud, clear, have good ideas. And if you guys are looking for ideas, just sit down, watch some good movies or some good cartoons, and get some references from that, or listen to some music that you like and get some references from that. And then you'll be able to record and then put some of what you watch and listen to in your videos.
Yep.
Here we go. So I think it's really just thinking first, can I do this?
Yeah,
That's the question. Can I do this?
for sure.
That's
That's
it.
some really good tips there to help out people that are starting out on YouTube.
Hmm.
So the final question we have for Coldmeat here is, for people that are watching, for your subscribers, do you have any info or sneak peek info as to any new series coming to your channel soon?
Sneak peek. Well, I'm really busy trying to get beta keys for a lot of games. Some people know that. Some people following me know that because I do post links and beta keys on my Facebook page. So what's coming right now? Of course, I have a vlog series every Monday. And I talk about the new stuff that's coming out soon and what I'm gonna be working on. Um, Surprises. Well, I'll tell you one thing for those of you that actually watch, it's not Total War related, but a lot of people know Daisy, right? A
Yep.
lot of people have been playing Daisy. So this summer, I will be working on a Daisy live project. So real life Daisy movies here. So that's one thing. I thought about doing it last year, uh, but unfortunately, winter and the snow came here really fast. And a good thing is the Daisy standalone project was actually pushed. It's not finished yet, and I don't think it will be released before September. So I have plenty of time this summer to find people to work on a live project. I already have a director and I have a team that can be working with me. We have the cameras, we have everything. Um, the setup here, you guys think honestly you should see where I live. It's Daisy. It's Tyrannus, my friend. It's exactly the same. We have the same trees, the same fields, the same houses. So all I'm missing right now are the zombies and a couple of guys holding cameras and a good script. So we'll be looking into working into that during spring, and we'll be filming probably during the summer. Not just one movie, but a series of maybe 6 movies altogether. So a quick YouTube series that
Well,
will be eventually featured on my channel and on Machinima also.
well, that's some amazing info there to give out to the people that are
Yeah.
watching this. So thanks for the sneak peek into that, Coldmeat, and thanks for joining me for this interview.
Well, thank you, Marcus. It's always a pleasure.
Awesome. So please remember, guys, to hit that like button, to subscribe. Check out Coldmeat's channel, which is down there in the description, and we'll see you guys for the next podcast.